Damien Woody, are you surprised the Vikings didn't offer Harbaugh that position?
I am surprised, considering the status of Jim Harbaugh, the relationship he had with the new general manager in Minnesota, the resume that Jim Harbaugh has in the National Football League. I am a little surprised. Listen, I think that Jim Harbaugh really embarrassed himself in this situation. He really did, because going there with the assumption that he was going to get the job, and now he has to turn around and go back to Michigan, and he went to interview on National Signing Day. So think about that. Think about the ammunition that he's given, whether it's Ryan Day at Ohio State and other coaches around the country, as far as Jim Harbaugh is concerned, as far as recruiting. That's going to be a killer, because now every cycle that comes around with Jim Harbaugh, this is going to be weaponized. It's going to be used against Jim Harbaugh as far as going up against other recruits. So I think there was definitely miscommunication. The fact that Jim Harbaugh assumed that he was getting the job and didn't get the job, this is going to hurt him at Michigan.
I don't agree with that for a couple of reasons. Number one, let's understand something. Jim Harbaugh has a relationship with the new GM of the Minnesota Vikings. That's why making an assumption is something that's not off kilter per se, because if you have a close relationship with somebody and they've given you an indication that you're their guy, which by all accounts, Jim Harbaugh was given that indication that he's the guy, then that assumption is not a crime. That's number one. Number two, if you're Michigan, beggars can't be choosy. I mean, my God, the guy is 61-24 as the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines in 7 years. He just got them to the college football players for the first time. He beat Ohio State. Okay, so I mean, he's playing with house money, Damien. Because he finally beat Ohio State. So when you just coming off beating Ohio State, they just happy to have you back. And this is after cutting his salary in half from $8 million to $4 million, because he knew he hadn't measured up to snuff prior to this season, where he ultimately beat Ohio State and get into the college football playoffs. So I think it's not a big deal in that regard. Last but not least, I want to say this. Having said all of that, I want everybody to understand I don't give a damn about this Jim Harbaugh story. I would care more if he went to Minnesota, to the Vikings, a team that hasn't been to the Super Bowl since 1976, by the way, when Fran Tarkenton was quarterbacking their team, okay? They haven't been to the Super Bowl since 1976, and Kirk Cousins is their quarterback. So even if Jim Harbaugh was there, he'd find a way to lose when it really, really counted. We don't give a damn about the Jim Harbaugh story because he's staying at Michigan. We'd care more if he left. Here's where the story gets interesting to me. We talk about Brian Flores, right? And we see the accusations that he's made. And we talked about Hugh Jackson, right? This guy, Kevin O'Connell. Let me apologize. It's not about you, my brother. You get the job. I wish you nothing but the best. I think you're doing a damn good job with the Los Angeles Rams. Y'all in the Super Bowl. There's nothing to question about that, even though it helps that Matthew Stafford is your quarterback instead of Jared Goff. Congratulations. You see this clique that's going on? Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, Matt LaFleur, now it's Kevin O'Connell, all these guys. These are boys. I mean, look at the resume. Everybody coached at Washington. Everybody coached in San Francisco. I mean, this guy, Kevin O'Connell, I got his resume right here. Quarterbacks coach in 2015 in Cleveland, San Francisco offensive assistant, quarterback coach again in Washington in 2017 and 2018 before becoming the offensive coordinator. And then now you with the Los Angeles Rams. That little clique going on. Now, I'm a fan of Kyle Shanahan. I'm a fan, real big-time fan of Sean McVay. I like those guys, and I respect the hell out of them. They've forgotten more football than I'll ever know. Matt LaFleur, you're lucky you got Aaron Rodgers. We'll see how much love you get when Jordan Love is your quarterback. We'll see, okay? But in the end, I'm noticing the clique. And see, these are the kind of things that keep African Americans from getting the head coaching nod. Because I'm noticing African Americans are never part of those cliques. The only time they're part of a clique is when it comes to African American coaches. And since they ain't getting the damn jobs, how can they develop a clique and a tree for others to get opportunities? Here's the kind of stuff. Now listen, mind you, all of these, some of them don't look it, But all of them younger than me. All of them. By a decade, at least. Okay, every one of them. Every one of them. Sean McVay's in his 30s. Kyle Shanahan, Matt LaFleur, and these brothers. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, for all I know, they probably went to school with my nephew or somebody. I mean, damn. I mean, life is really, really, really good. And there's this little tree developing that I'm noticing, and all I'm going to say is this. White dudes that talk about how we listening, we hear you or whatever, but y'all ain't got no black friends. Last time I checked, y'all do. Y'all hire cats on your staff, right? You understand? Raheem Morris is the defensive coordinator on Los Angeles. Byron Leftwich and Todd Bowles are both coordinators under Bruce Arians and stuff like that. We've seen cats. I mean, damn, how come when it's time for hiring, the clique looks conspicuously white and there's no brothers sprinkled into the mix? That's what I'm noticing. That's what I take from this damn story about Harbaugh. It ain't Harbaugh. It's the fact that Kevin O'Connell, all right, who's been there as a coordinator for 3 years, is now on the verge of becoming a head coach. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.